Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people? And welcome back to another live stream. Giveaway at 2K to followers. Yeah, in fact, I'm actually going to do a giveaway specifically to you because you recommended it. So, yeah, just leave me your address in your DMs and I'll send you something in the post at 2K. So, yeah, look forward to that. But welcome back to another live stream, people. Like always, check out my Telegram channel. Link to that in the live stream. In the live stream chat and also the description below. But yes, same as always, guys, another live stream. I'm going to talk you through what's going on in the charts today, see if we're on any opportunities coming our way. Hey, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Again, any pairs you want me to take a look at, feel free to leave it in the chat. What did you win? You will have to find out and see. I mean, it's a surprise. 11 out of the day. Okay, I'll send it right over after the stream. So yeah, just look forward to it if I was you, because you should have seen the giveaway at 1K. The giveaway at 2K is going to be very, very special. Anyway, yes, so I'm currently in ADC Chef here, looking for sells for this pair. We'll see if we can continue to sell this one off. If it does move up, I might potentially look for more entries for this pair, because I still see this going down. So if we can get some more entries around here, that would be great. And then yeah, I'll look to sell this one again, potentially at that resistance. Did see a nice move to start the pair off, got into that support, rejected it, moved back up again. So still looking for price to get back down to this support, and hopefully we can see price come back down to these lows all the way down here, which is around 0.66400. This daily low that gave us a push to the upside. So ADC Chef is a little bit of a choppy pair, but the price action is still showing signs of some downside here. So we'll be looking for those shorts, and like I said, if we continue back into the resistance again, get some more price action, I might consider adding some more positions on. Again, did take some partials there, so we could potentially put those partials that I gain back on here to see if they can run and hit overall TP, what we'll see. Hello Rex, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you guys on. USD CAD go to 1.28. Yes, I do think USD CAD will go to 1.28. Again, we were looking at USD CAD yesterday in this area of price action here. It was consolidating. We're expecting a move up because we were expecting that move up for the DXY to see move to the upside. And as you can see, we saw a massive move to the upside for the DXY yesterday. Again, we were talking about the news events that might have an impact, but overall our bias was still to the upside. Again, if I go to the daily, I was talking about potentially price breaking through breaking through this wick here and pushing into this 94 resistance zone, which is basically this high here. We're expecting a push into. Actually, price is actually, if I just remove that area there, price is actually pushed through just about the high of that area. So we're definitely bullish here on DXY. Very, very bullish here. As you can see, price is flying to the upside. So yeah, I'm still expecting more upside for the DXY, but it could be time to retrace because again, that's quite a big move there. You could see price start to do something like this now, which means that USD CAD might still do this for a little bit longer before it pushes up. But yeah, I do expect to see USD CAD push into that 1.28 area. Again, we do have this 1.27 level, which I was looking for a retest of quite a while ago when we had this breakout, but we didn't get it, and we might be getting it now. So basically this area of resistance here. This area of resistance here now will be turning support. So 1.27 could be a really nice place for buys. Again, resistance all across here. Was looking for the retest here, never got the retest. Now we had that breakout, break back in. Now we're back above. So if you can hold this, I think upside will be looking good. And then, like I said yesterday, targets would be at this resistance here. Nice area of supply just below that 1.28 barrier. So we're broken through 1.27. Next psychological level to stop at is 1.28 if we can respect 1.27 as support. So that makes sense. I'm still expecting to see USD CAD push onto those highs. Good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the stream. Waiting for UCJPY short. Yeah, UCJPY has been on a big run. I mean, it's not the pair that I'm looking to short just because it's been so bullish. So it's a little bit scary looking to short this one, in fact, if I was to be honest with you. We do have this trend line here, which is not too far away from prices, which could be a nice point to look to short at. If price was to push up a little bit more, come and hit that trend line, there could be some nice shorts to the downside there. Again, I probably understand that you're not probably looking for the bigger move here, just probably catching, maybe 30, 40, 50 pips if you can. But I think, just waiting for price to maybe hit that trend line, the overall chance of price coming down becomes much greater. So the probability of a trade is higher. But yeah, USJY has been on a crazy run to the upside after breaking out of this range here. And as you can see, price is still moving strong. So like I said with the DXY, I expect to see more upside, but it could be time for price to retrace now. Because we've seen so much upside, and now we probably need to see some downside just to retrace some of this imbalance there, and then maybe we can see some continuations after. So overall, I'm still bullish on USD, which is why I'm not really looking to sell USDJPY. But like I said, some retracement does look good, but I wouldn't hold on to that trade for too long because we could easily just continue up. So that's what I'm saying, potentially waiting for price to get to this resistance here, that trend line, maybe at the 112, 300, 400 area, could be some nice sells. Oh yeah, AD CAD, we did see some nice downside for AD CAD, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no problem, Rex, happy to help. We were looking at shorting AD CAD yesterday on the stream, and price was moving quite nicely back into this area of support, all-time resistance, few wicks into that area, and we did see some nice downside when we got the close below this trend line here, and price shot to the downside. So are you still in that position? Because AD CAD's still looking good. Again, we were still expecting price to get back down to these lows down here, which is 0.91 100 and potentially 0.91 if we do see some new lows, which does look likely if price does continue. So yeah, AD CAD's looking really, really good. We'll probably see that downside continue with the the way market is moving, still putting in those lower highs here. Really nice lower highs there in the market. So if you can continue, we'll be looking good, and I would say a nice push back down into that support is looking good. So I think if we can get maybe another push up, retest this resistance, maybe form a double top, that could be a nice re-entry if you're looking for re-entries, or if you want to get into the position for the first time, that could be some nice entries down the double top. But overall, yeah, not really interested in buys at all for AD CAD. I'm still expecting more downside for this one. Okay, you still with it. Okay, fair enough. I mean, go for whatever pips you're looking for. Again, the move from this area down there was what, 77 pips. So again, you don't have to catch the whole move. As long as you catch the pips you want to be catching, it's happy days. I still think AD CAD could see more downside, but that was a good trade by itself anyway. So well done there. good catch. ADCHF was a nice push, but it looks like it's pushing back up against me here. I did capture some nice profit there, but I'm expecting price to take that area out. A little bit choppy here, not gonna lie. It might be ADCHF moves back into here, then comes down. As we did see a lot of weakness for NZD. As you can see, NZD CAD flying to the downside. NZCHF took a big move to the downside, moving a lot better than ADCHF. NZJPY big move to the downside as well. NZD USD, even bigger move to the downside. So NZD has been really weak. It looks like it's NZD's turn to be weak. It was pound's turn early on in the week. Pounds start to relax a little bit. It's still weak, but it's starting to relax a little bit now. Pound NZD is seeing some strength. Pound JPY did fall, but seeing a little bit of strength now. Pound CHF again, a little bit of strength. So overall, pound's still weak, but we're seeing a little bit of strength now. Euro USD, we collapsed to the downside again as the DXY shot to the upside. Euro USD collapsed, practically the inverse of each other. And I was talking to you guys yesterday saying that if we get some sales for Euro USD, I'm expecting it to probably push into this double bottom here and probably take out those lows. And as you can see, that's exactly what we've done. We pushed through that again. I didn't expect that to happen. I'd said potentially by the end of the week we might be there. But with the news, it obviously sped things up quite a lot. So yeah, Euro USD is looking very bearish. We're actually taking out these lows. So this is actually quite interesting because I've always been bullish on Euro USD as in the overall time frame, like monthly, kind of the highest time frame. Obviously you can create higher time frames, but kind of the bigger time frame, I've always been bullish on Euro USD. I think we can still move up because I do think long term dollar is still down. So if dollar's still down, Euro USD is most likely going to be moving to the upside. But with this price action here, taking out those lows there, it's not giving me too much confidence. It might actually be starting to turn, and we could potentially be seeing Euro USD move down to some of these areas here, because we do have a lot of price action that was never really retraced. And normally when you do see price shoot up like that, it normally eventually does come back down and retrace some of that price action. It looks like it's doing that now. So maybe we could actually be seeing Euro USD back down to 1.13, 1.14, really nice area of demand there. So we could be coming like something like that to go up again. But yeah, Euro USD is very bearish, very bearish. So yeah, there could be some short-term buys coming up, but I'm not gonna look to take a part in that. I'll just wait for price to retrace for me, then get to some sells again. We do have some nice support here, so you can come back and retest it. Haven't retested it, just broke through there. So if we do trickle back up to retest, again, that's probably the first place I'm looking to sell the market again. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's completely up to you. If you don't like holding trades overnight, then don't hold trades overnight. I mean, that's the beauty of trading. You can really tailor it to whatever you want in how you want your style to be, because some people don't mind holding overnight. Like me, I don't really mind holding overnight. But some people, you don't like it, or some people want to be in trade for a few minutes. So you can really tailor your strategy or trading to whatever suits you best. If you've got a full-time job you're working, you can always try and tailor it around that. So there's a lot of flexibility, and all you have to do is just tailor it to whatever suits you and just kind of stick at it. So yeah, if you don't like holding trades overnight, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, just don't hold trades overnight. So nice. Bad numbers from Germany. E looks to fall further. I haven't checked the fundamentals, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of euro weakness across the board as I flick through some of these charts. So yeah, it does add up. We're seeing some euro weakness. Yeah, if I go check some of the news now, because I'm not sure if we've got anything lined up for today or not. Okay, so today we had some Euro news, for Germany, you're right there, early on today, and we've got, we do, actually no, we had some more euro news for Spain as well. Some of that came out bad, some good. Again, a lot of Germany bad news there as well. All happened around 8:55, 9 a.m. GMT, of course. So yeah, Euro's taken a bit of a hit. We do have some USD news coming out at about 1:30 GMT. So high impact, some jobless claims. Do watch out for that. But other than that, nothing else happening. So yeah, we do have some US dollar news. So watch out for that. But we had Euro news this morning, so that's probably why we're seeing such weakness. Yeah, it is big pips, Rex. But normally, when I have a bias in the market, I don't really want to trade against it, even if there's a attractive setup going the other way. Reason being because I know if I have a bearish bias on Euro USD, I can still see that going a third to the downside. I wouldn't want to take a buy, and if that trade fails, it would make any sense me taking that trade because I got a bearish bias. I'm taking a buy and it failing, so it means that my bias was correct. So not that it won't work, because it could work if it's a good setup, of course, but it just doesn't make sense if I'm just going to lose money going against my bias. I might as well lose money going with my bias, if you know what I mean. But yeah, if the lower time frames, because if it does retrace to the upside, like I said, back into that level, that's probably good. Maybe 70, 80 pips. Yeah, 70, 80 pips to the upside. So it is a lot of pips to catch if you want to, but just because I said it's going up there doesn't mean it can't trickle to the downside a lot more before it does make that move. So you need to watch out for that. But if you can get something, if you can get a trade in that, and that fits your plan, then 100% feel free, go ahead. But as a swing trader, I like to swing in my direction. So if there's a trade in my direction, I'll take it. If it's against my direction, I won't. Maybe I might reassess my bias to see if I'm in the right way or not. But yeah, if there's a nice long setup, I might post it on the Telegram, but I probably wouldn't take it because I'm only looking for sells. But it's each their own out here. It's each their own. Yeah, I'm still expecting more JPY strength to come back in the markets, guys, because we've seen Euro USD, Pound USD, another pair that just absolutely collapsed this week. NZD USD, Aud USD collapsed as well when we got off the stream yesterday, and I do expect to see AU come right back down to these lows. So, and as you guys know, JPY and USD do correlate quite well. Again, two different pairs, but their strengths do are quite similar sometimes. So normally if you're seeing Euro USD fall, you're eventually going to see Euro JPY fall with it, or vice versa. If Euro JPY is falling, eventually Euro USD is going to catch up. So with that knowledge in mind, Euro JPY, I can definitely see price getting ready to take a dive to the downside and come right back down to these lows. Same with Pound JPY as well. Pound JPY is almost there, to be fair, but I can see price coming back down to these lows. Same for NZJPY, back down to these lows. ADJPY back down to these lows here as well, maybe there. So I think there could be some really nice sell opportunities back to the downside. Again, not in one go, because that is a fairly big move. That's for 250 pips. So you can take advantage of some selling opportunities if we start trending to the downside. But yeah, if JPY starts to follow what USD is doing and seeing some strength, then, which normally does happen, if you look at the history between like Euro USD and Euro JPY, they do tend to move in the same direction. Not overall, like sometimes they could be different directions, but they do come in sync quite a lot. So when JPY starts to finally see some strength, I think there could be some really nice sells for these Euro JPYs. Pound JPYs kind of already happened, but I still see more downside back into that support. And again, Pound JPY is filled with pips, so if I was just to measure where price is back down to that support, that's still 120 pips. So there's a lot of pips to catch still on these JPY pairs. They're not quite ready yet, Pound JPY is a bit different because we saw a lot of pound weakness recently. I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday. We had that massive crash there. So, and you can see by the way price is moving, very, bear flag, getting ready to take another dive. So, we'll be looking at these JPY pairs to get involved in some trades here. I think that's probably where my next trade's coming from. Maybe pound JPY, it still looks good. Like I said, still 122 pips to the downside. Euro JPY looks good as well, just simply because it's higher up. So, more pips to catch essentially. But, if that does get a nice valid setup there, I would look to take that. Again, probably not back down all the way to the lows there, but maybe halfway, 50% of this kind of move there looks good, somewhere around there, or maybe 129 on the dot, nice psychological level. So yeah, I will be looking for these sells. Your JPY price action is not the best, I do have to say, because we've had a really nice impulsive leg, and now we're just kind of moving sideways. I would like to see price kind of spike to the upside and then come back down, grab some liquidity, so that could be a really nice confirmation. Normally when prices like this, I normally stay out of it until I see a really nice false break, because false breaks I sometimes use as confirmations to get into trades, only when it's a clear false break, because sometimes a false break actually turns into be an actual true break. So it needs to be really clear for me to get involved. But yeah, if we can get a spike through this high, grab some nice supply up here, that could be really nice, and then I could get in after that. But I wouldn't just enter the trade now just because I think it's going down. It's too sideways. Price actually is not looking well there. So Euro JPY is on the watch list, but price action is just not looking good there. But if you are looking at shorts for Euro JPY, they are looking good, and I would say 129 would be probably the first target down there. Price looks like it's rejecting 130. As you can see, 130 is about here. If I take a line across, price is rejecting 130. Next psychological target will be 129, which is down here. So that's the target for Euro JPY. It's looking good, but like I said, a false break, grab some liquidity above that high, and then I'll look to enter that trade. But if it just keeps doing this and eventually leaks, I might just miss that trade out, because it could still move to the upside and be wrong. My bias doesn't have to always be right. Again, like I said, currently in this ADC chef position, I might look to enter again. If we come up here, we start to reject it, see a nice bearish engulfing or bearish something like we were seeing here, something like we were seeing there. So I still do think ADC chef will catch up with the other AUDs. Same with ADJPY as well. This pair a little bit more choppy, but overall I can still see a move to the downside for this one. Another move back down here. So that's why I'm looking for these AUDs, but they are taking their time. It might be a valid setup, maybe in the New York session or maybe London tomorrow. But yeah, I am looking for these AUD pairs to come back down. CAD JPY has been a bit funny. It looks like it was coming down yesterday, but it's found a bit of support here. Really rejected that area and took off to the upside kind of early morning / overnight. So looking a little bit bullish, but overall we still do have this resistance here. So I would kind of classify this as probably more a range than price turning bullish again. If we do take out this resistance, however, then yeah, I'll probably say we're trending back to the upside again, probably come back to these highs. Maybe the next psychological target, 88,500 up there. So if you can reject this quite strongly, come back down, that could be a nice little break and retest entry there. Or if we come down lower high, something like that, that could be a nice trade. But yeah, CAD JPY, I'm treating that as a kind of range to me. So again, like I said, range is a no-go for me. I'll wait for either a false break or price to break and retest that, and that's the only way I'll look to enter. But from that, yeah, I'm not going to be entering that. CAD CHF still looking a little bit bullish, so it looks like we are seeing some strength in the CAD. If you look at some other CAD pairs, Euro CAD falling to the downside, so obviously some strength in the CAD there. Pound CAD fall to the downside a little bit, might be finding some strength now because pound is. But yeah, CAD looks overall we've seen some strength. Probably why USD CAD is still retracing, but I still do expect to see that USD CAD push up into 1.28, maybe even further. Gold, we saw some more downside. Again, we were speaking about gold on the stream yesterday. We had that bearish bias for gold. Said I do see gold come back down to 1720 and then potentially 1712 as well. So yeah, I'm still biased to the downside for gold, simply because, well, not simply because, but one of the main reasons is because DXY still looks like it's going up. And as DXY goes up, gold comes down. And what has DXY been doing for the past few months now? It's been going up. And what's gold been doing is coming down. So as long as they both these markets stayed sync, gold should still be coming down for me there. So if we can get some good retracement, I was looking for price to get back into this area here. Didn't quite happen yesterday, kind of missed it, and then took off to the downside. But despite that, gold's still looking bearish. And like I said on the daily, if the DXY really does take off to the upside, gold potentially could be coming back down to these lows again where we spiked in a few times. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see by the end of maybe next week or the week after, gold trading back at these lows here. If that momentum starts to kick off again, which it could do, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see gold back at 1680. So yeah, sells for gold if you are looking at trading this pair. Again, we are coming to some support now, so I probably would avoid selling gold until it's done, a decent amount of retracement on the daily, and then we can set it back down again, or again breaks through that area, comes back and then sells off. So I would probably avoid selling gold right now because of where it is, because it's at that support. But I wouldn't take buys either, because again my bias is bearish. So gold's still looking good for sells. Same with silver. Silver took a bit of a dive yesterday. Silver's looking really bearish, because I remember a few months ago everyone was talking about silver having so much potential to move to the upside, and I still do think it will. But it's definitely taken a move to the downside first before it does have that crazy move to the upside, because again a lot of people do expect to see silver rise because they believe it's undervalued, and I do as well to a certain extent. But with that price action, because at the end of the day I don't trade fundamentals, I trade price action. Price action is looking bearish for silver. So for this one, it could actually move back down to this area if, like I said, for gold comes true. If gold moves down to 1680, silver is probably likely to come back down to 19 around here, maybe even 18 beneath it. Then from here we might see some nice upside, but for now it's looking very bearish. So again, gold, silver correlate really nicely. So only looking for sells for those pairs, and still expecting more downside. USD we did see some nice upside for this pair as well. Again, we were talking about some buys for this one. Had a nice break and retest of this level here. Again, really nice resistance, false break there a couple of times using our support. Nice move to the upside. So again, I was telling you guys yesterday that we did have this kind of shaky trend line here coming into the markets, but I said if you can still stay above that, I still expect to see USD come and test this resistance and maybe move into some higher highs as well. So DXY is still bullish. All these USD pairs are still bullish. If you are looking to sell like USD do watch out. Make sure you probably take a profit, try and get it to break even if you can, because USD is looking very bullish. So it might look bearish maybe for a few hours, maybe for a session, but it's likely just to be retrace and then continue. So if you take advantage of those retracements, just be careful. But for me as a swing trader, I like to go for 60, 80, 100 pips when I trade, sometimes more. So I'm not going to be bothered with these sells for USD or USD. I'll just wait for the buying opportunities again to take them further to the upside. Same with gold, waiting for the retrace or the break and retest to take that further to the downside. Pound USD's had a really nice sell-off, so I think we can see some upside for this pair. Again, really nice zone that we haven't retested. 1.36 broke through that with so much momentum. If I get a fib on that, you can see it lines up nicely with the 50%. So there could be some nice buys for for pound USD, again with all this bearish momentum there in the market. So do watch out for that. But for me, I'll be looking for price to get back to 1.36, and then from here, I'll look for some confirmations to sell it back down again, because I still believe pound USD is heading to the downside, only because DXY looks like it's still going up. And if I just go on the higher time frame just to get a bigger picture of what's going on, so it looks like pound USD has come back into these highs here. Nice rejection of 1.42, and we do have this area here of prior resistance now turn support. I think if you can hold this 1.32, there could be some nice buys there for pound USD. Back up again. If you break through that, then we could be in trouble. We could be seeing price going back down to these areas, and then potentially this area all the way down there. So again, that's very, very long term. I'm not going to actually take that into account when I'm trading pound. I'm just getting an overall scope of things. And yeah, pound USD, from a monthly point of view, rejecting that, it's pretty much, probably about 90% chance that price will probably make it back down to 1.33, maybe 1.32, and retest this area. So from a higher time frame point of view, it's sometimes good to give you overall scope of things and overall trend. Yeah, and prices got about 90% chance of getting back down to 1.33. So still more downside for this one. Again, it's not too far from 1.1 from 1.33. Again, that's the zone right here. If I just mark it out, already hit 1.34 just about, kind of. So yeah, looking at retracement, and then targets will be 1.33, and then from there we might be pushing back up again, but we will find out. So yeah, looking for sells here. So far, really nothing much in the markets right now. Like I said, currently in my AUD position, might be looking to scale back in for some more second position, but we will see, because price could obviously still break that and continue higher. AGFY looks good for some sells. If we can get some nice bearish candle closure on that, looks like potentially might have come back to this resistance. Like I said, all these JPY pairs are just getting ready to catch up with the USD pairs. So, get ready for some big sells on the ADJPY, CAD JPY, CHF JPY, Euro JPY, Pound JPY is kind of really kicked off, NZD JPY, everything but USD JPY, because that one's tied with USD, of course. So yeah, all these JPY pairs do look for some sells on them. Oh, Euro GBP is kicking off. Yeah, Euro GBP is a very choppy pair anyway, so really not interested, but looks like it's putting a little bit of a head and shoulders there. Could see some downside, maybe halfway of this impulse, which is around here maybe. Oh, that is a really poorly drawn line. Maybe around there. Let's see how far I'm off. Okay, just underneath, but yeah, maybe around there we could come down to, retest this area. Yeah, but Euro GBP is definitely not my pair that I'm looking to trade. Hey Gia, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, Euro pound is looking very bearish. So yeah, still in my ADCHF position. Going to see how this gets on. Again, potentially might be looking to add a second position at that resistance, but we'll see how price action develops. But yeah, I would say the pairs that I'm looking at today are some of the JPY pairs. AUD JPY looking good. Again, I'm not too sure if I would enter that because I'm already in ADCHF. Probably rather enter a second trade in ADCHF than get in AUD JPY. Euro JPY looks good, but it's a little bit sideways, so I might just leave that one alone. And Pound JPY looks like it's still retracing, but some good sales could be coming up there. USD CAD and AU sure things. So yeah, USD CAD, I was speaking about this one earlier, and we were favouring some buys for this one. I moved back into 1.2. 1.28, sorry. We broke out this consolidation yesterday, really nice move to the upside, broke through 1.27, and now it looks like we're coming back to retest it. So yeah, for me, I'm bullish on USD CAD. I'm looking for a push back into this high up there, which is just under 1.28. So we're basically saying the target is that 1.28 area. Overall, still bullish on USD CAD because DXY is looking very bullish. So I'm bullish on USD. And USD CAD has recently just retraced for us nicely. The only thing with this one is CAD's been a little bit weird. It's been quite strong and seems to find it difficult to die down a little bit. So it might take its time, USD CAD, but you know, buys are looking good if you can hold 1.27, and then the next psychological target would be 1.28 up there. We might go further. I'm not too sure, but yeah, USD CAD is looking good for some buys. And AUD USD took a really nice sell-off yesterday. Again, targets are still at this 0.71200 area. If I go on the H4, you can see it's this support here. I'm still expecting price to get back down there. It looks like it's broken straight through this support. So yeah, sales back down to this area are looking good. The break and retest does look good if you can hold that. Sales back down into that would be nice, but you know, as for direction, it's still firmly with the bears here. So yeah, if we can get a bit of retracement on this one back into this high, that'll be great. If not, you know, if we can get some other confirmation around here, if we dip down, maybe put some lower highs in. That is nonsense there. Put some lower highs in, there could be some nice sells back here. But yeah, AU downside, USD CAD upside, and bullish on USD. They've been trending heavily to the downside, so no reason to get into some longs. Maybe if you break back above that area, but even still, I probably wouldn't even get to long if that happened. So yeah, AUD USD sells back down to 0.71200, that low there, and USD CAD back up to 1.28 up there. Still holding EJ and CAD JPY, nice. Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about how some of the JPY pairs are looking good for sells, because we've seen USD have some crazy strength, and I think it's going to be JPY's turn to see that strength coming in, because they are two quite correlated pairs. So yeah, I think CAD JPY is going to eventually kick off to the downside. It's having a bit of a trouble right now because CAD's seen some strength, but overall I'm kind of treating that as a range. But I do think we can see some nice downside for CAD JPY and Euro JPY as well. I was looking for sales for that one, a little bit sideways for me, but 1.29 is where I do see price going. We might see a bit of struggle around here because we do have a lot of support, but yeah, for me, Euro JPY is looking good for sales. So yeah, those two positions are looking good. And yeah, sales are looking good for them. So like I said, AJPY is looking good, you know, CAD JPY is looking good. If we can get a really nice bearish engulfing or maybe a false break, I might look to enter. But other than that, it's looking good for sales. So yeah, if you hold to those positions, hopefully they do start to come through. And yeah, I agree with them totally. Euro AUD, yeah, sure thing. Yeah, Euro AUD's been a bit of a funny pair recently. It's kind of hard to work out the bias for this one. I've been bullish on Euro AUD since we had this big impulsive move to the upside, simply because I do expect to see more weakness for the AU. So for AU being weak, I do expect to see Euro AUD climb to the upside, but recently, just looking at some of the fundamentals, we've seen some weakness in the euro. I think it was due to some bad news coming out of Germany and also Spain maybe as well. So we've seen a bit of a dive to the downside here for Euro AUD, but overall, I think we can see a move to the upside. Again, price is still bullish overall, looking at the daily side of things and coming into the 4H time frame. We had a really nice impulsive leg. So yeah, I think upside for Euro AUD, it's not the best pair to trade just because it's a little bit choppy, as you can see, up, down, up, down, up, down. A little bit choppy, but I think if we can hold this support intact, the impulsive legs look like they are to the upside. As you can see, a really nice impulsive leg. retracement candles, impulsive retracement candles. So I do think the next move would be to the upside, but that's only if we do keep seeing that AU weakness. If we take out this support here, it will likely to come back down to these lows and probably even further, and this here could just be price respecting this resistance and continue with this maybe new forming downtrend. So take out this support, probably be bearish on your AUD, expecting to move back into these lows and maybe even here as well. If we can hold this as support, now I do see price heading back down to these highs, not back down, back up to these highs up here, and probably a lot further as well. So for me, it all depends really what price wants to do here, whether you put in a higher low or we break through that area. But because these candles don't really have much momentum, I expect price to find support here and push back up again. So I would say I'm bullish on your AUD, expecting a move back into those highs. If we do break through there, I'll flip my bias, and like I said, back down to these lows, back down to those lows, and potentially these lows here as well. So I hope that helped. Your AUD's been a little bit choppy, so it's not the most clearest pair there is in terms of working at my bias and everything. But if we can hold the support prices at, I would say quite firmly bullish back up to 1.622. But yeah, if you break through that, then probably 1.6 and maybe 1.59 500 as well. So yeah, I hope that was clear enough there. Morning Jay, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to the stream. USD still kind of consolidating as well. I see a big breakout for this one to the downside. Again, still looking how to get involved in this one, because as long as price stays in here, I don't really want to get involved. So maybe if you can put maybe another lower high at resistance, that'd be a good place to enter, because your stops will be obviously above that zone, or maybe the break and retest. But I'm probably not a bigger fan of that with how price is moving. But again, EuroCHF is looking good for sales. It's broken through this low here, a lot of impulse, failing to push up. So I think it's just getting ready for a nice collapse to the downside. But yeah, it's one thing to have your bias and another thing to actually get into the market and trade it. Yeah, sure thing. I'll take a look at GJ now. Morning, how are you doing? Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, GJ overall bias is to the downside. I'm expecting price to eventually get back down to these lows here, 149, 500, probably even past that. Basically just follow what GU is doing here to the downside. So GJ, I'm expecting more downside here, back down to that 149, 200. So if it retraces, nice. I think that's just another opportunity to get involved. Again, we had some really nice support and resistance here. And if price can get back up to that, that will be a really nice place to sell at from here, and then right back down into that low. If not, then maybe on the break of this trend line, because we're forming kind of like a bear flag here. So if you can break through this trend line and then maybe retest it, that could be a nice entry there to the downside. But biases to the downside, the chance of price probably getting down to these lows is quite high, simply just following what GU is doing here. So yeah, GJ back into that resistance, and if you can hold that, great, sells from there. If not, just probably wait for that trend line break, because price might still chug to the upside. But yeah, sells back down to 149, 200. Thanks guys, much appreciated. Yeah, if you can leave a like in the video, that would be really much appreciated, guys. Yeah, it does really help the channel out, so if you can, that'll really make my day. But thanks Jay, and thanks Chia for those likes, really do appreciate that, guys. But yeah, I hope that analysis on GJ made sense there. Looking for those sells is kind of whatever comes first, really, whether we get that resistance first or we break through the trend line first. Either which way, sales are looking good. Yeah, my bias for most of these JPY pairs is downside anyway, but GJ, we really saw that momentum come through on Tuesday, I believe, that pound weakness. So I think price is just retracing itself a little bit, but sales are still looking good. Yeah, we're seeing some pound strength a little bit, so that's probably why pound JPY is moving to the upside, because we're seeing some pound strength. But like I said, it's probably just retracing some of that bearish momentum, because we really did have quite a big drop on Tuesday, I think it was. If I just measure that in pips from that high down there, that's almost 200 pips there. So that's a very, very big drop in just one day. I know pound JPY's got a lot of pips about it, but that's a big drop there in one day, especially in one move as well. Not really much retracement. So price does need to retrace some of that. But sales are still looking good, back down to that support there. Okay, so we're coming up to the hour mark, so let's see how some candles are closing. CAD overall, nothing really going on here. That resistance, if you can reject that a little bit more, that would probably be nice. But yeah, probably move back down to that, and if you can break through this, I would say sales are looking good again. ADC chef, not much going on here either. Found some nice support, slowly climbed up to the upside overnight, and now we're kind of putting in some dojis, some small bullish candles. So I'll see what price does here for ADC chef. Again, if it does probably break through this area, I might consider just closing the trade, since I've already banked some profit here. So the money that's in the red now will probably cancel each other out. So overall, could we just be a break even? But I still think this one's coming down anyway. So if I can get a really nice reaction from here, I might consider adding a second position on. And like I said, hitting those TPs down here, that support there and that support down there. So still looking for those sales for ADCHF. If I wasn't in the ADCHF, I'll probably be looking at ADJY, getting involved with this one. Probably not on that candle though. Probably want to wait for the next candle there, really shift the momentum. But it's rejecting that resistance really nicely. And like I said, I'm still bullish on these, bearish on these JPY pairs. So I can see price selling off back down into these lows here, maybe in the next week or so. So I can see a lot of downside here, and I'm just going to get ready to pounce on these moves when they do set up nicely. Probably not AUD/JPY because I'm already in AUD/CHF, but maybe Euro/JPY could do something for me, or pound can finish retracing. Maybe CAD will show some momentum for the bears again. That could be some nice trades there. Pound CAD, yeah, sure thing. Pound CAD. Okay, so pound CAD we've taken off to the downside here. Again, I'm pretty sure that was from the pound weakness on Tuesday, breaking through that daily support, or daily and 4-hour support. Quite aggressively. We broke through 1.72. Yeah, oh wow, we smashed through 172. Was not expecting that. Okay, so all the way down at these lows. Yeah, I haven't actually looked at pound CAD on the daily time frame here. I just looked at it on like the hourly and the 4H, so I didn't really know where we are. But looking at the daily now, we've actually had a really big drop to the downside. So yeah, for this one, there could be some nice buys coming up. A, because we had a massive move, so we need to retrace, and also B, because we're coming into this area of daily demand here, where price kind of stalled a little bit and had a big move to the upside. There will be some nice buying pressure coming back into the market here. Not exactly where price is, like pinpoint. It could, buffer around a little bit, maybe move down, but I think overall we can see some upside because price does need to retrace and it's coming to a really nice buy zone sort of thing. Overall, I'm probably still bearish from pound CAD though. I'll probably still, if it does move to the upside, I probably will be getting ready for those sales to take it back down again. But I think could look for some buys first and then probably look to sell it after that move. So yeah, I think we'll probably come back, retest this. As you can see, massive bearish candle there. Never really retested that at all. So fresh support turned into some nice fresh resistance that price will probably be drawn into. So coming into a really nice area, 1.71, nice psychological level there as well. So if you can respect that, there could be some nice buys. Again, wait for your confirmations for this one, because again, it is very, very bearish in the higher time frame. A little bit of a trend line going on there as well. Maybe a bit of a channel actually, if I connect that. So maybe a bit of a channel, maybe you can break through that channel, put in a higher low, or maybe a head and shoulders, something like that. That could be a really nice entry. Back up to 1.72500. 1.72600, test that resistance and then probably sell off again. So that could be a really nice opportunity there for pound CAD. But yeah, it's coming to a nice buy zone, and we had quite a substantial fall there. So buys could be looking good. Personally, me, I wouldn't be looking to get in the buys because I probably do expect to see pound CAD reverse and continue to the downside anyway. So I think I'll just wait for that retrace to happen. There's obviously a chance that it might not happen, and we could still see pound CAD continue a lot further, maybe even hit 1.7 before it does move up. So I'm not gonna bother with that move, even though it does look fairly probable of happening. I'll wait for the move up to sell it back down again. But with what's happened so far, I can definitely see a move up. But then I'll look to sell, around this resistance here. So yeah, buys are looking good for pound CAD. We'll come into a really nice buy zone in the daily, and the fact that we've had that such aggressive sell off there, we do need to see some retrace coming in. And I think pound's also seeing a little bit of weakness this morning, strength this morning. So yeah, pound CAD's looking good for some buys, back up to 1.72500. But yeah, do be careful because we could turn bearish again quite easily. And I still do expect to see pound CAD continue to the downside. So watch out for that, but there could be some nice buys there. Maybe on the retest. And also if you see some CAD start to become weak again, that could really help this pair move to the upside, because again, we're looking at CAD CHF potentially coming down, CAD JPY potentially coming down, but again, they're still looking a little bit bullish. Well, CAD JPY not too much, but CAD CHF is. So do need to see some of these pairs come right back down again. Maybe a bit of a head and shoulders could be forming here actually for CAD CHF. Obviously not now, still looking bullish, could easily break through that. But yeah, we do need to see some CAD weakness to help up those buys, but it could be looking good soon. We would just have to wait and see. ADCHF still looking a little bit bullish there, so we'll see what happens at that resistance. If I can get something there, I might look for those re-entries. If not, and it breaks through and it doesn't hit my stop loss, I'll probably just exit the position. But I did catch a nice move there. It's a shame that we didn't break through that level, but we will find out, see what price wants to do later on. Again, I'm still expecting that AUD weakness to come in because NZD is really, collapsed to the downside, and AUD and NZD do kind of move very similar. Like if I go on the daily here for NZD JPY, you can see we are looking really bearish here, and AUD JPY again similar price action as well. So I do suspect to see AUD catch up. To be honest, if you look at the higher time frames, AUD has really collapsed to the downside, whereas NZD JPY hasn't really collapsed. So it could be just NZD catching up with AUD actually, rather than the other way around. So that's an interesting perspective there. So it might stay that way for a little bit. Then it might be NZD really being weak over the next few days, whereas AUD maybe be in and out of weakness and strength. But for me, I can still see NZD JPY getting back down to this support here, which is around the 76 area. So again, sales for NZD JPY as well are looking good. Coming down into support soonish, but you know, if you can retrace, put in a lower high, you know, sells will be looking good. Or maybe retest this resistance here. That could be looking good as well, back down to that 76 area. So more sales for these pairs and more sales for ADJPY, but it might be moving a little bit slower than NZD though. So maybe take that into account. But in terms of direction, both of them the same, and both look like they're heading down. Euro USD is still pushing to the downside. Again, we did have that euro weakness coming from the news this morning, so euro looks like it's still falling. That's quite a big drop there for euro. Measure that. Wow, that's almost 100 pips. Euro USD doesn't normally do that. Excuse me, Euro USD does not normally do 100 pips in one move. I mean, recently it's been kicking off, to be fair. That's probably about 70 pips. That's about 80. So, yeah, 100 pips is a big move for Euro USD. And as you can see, as I'm scrolling through, price does not normally give big moves like that. I think this is probably slightly bigger. It's about 100 pips as well. So, we've just seen another one of those big moves. So, yeah, Euro USD, because I think we had that USD news that was fairly bullish for USD, and obviously news that coming out now which is bearish for Euro. So it's really a big contrast between strength and weakness, and it's really pushed on. So Euro USD back down at 1.16. I do suspect Euro USD is going to find some support soon. Maybe not here, it might break through that, but I think somewhere it will find some support soon to push up again. Because again, if I just zoom out onto the daily, we do have that double bottom support here, which price is, you know, taking out that liquidity but beneath it. So I think we're going to take a little bit more of that liquidity out, because again, it did, you know, if I zoom out, this double bottom here gave this massive move to the upside all the way up to 1.23. So there's definitely a lot of liquidity below this low here. So, you know, we're taking all of that out now. And I think when price has finished doing that, probably see a nice big move, retracing some of that move there to the upside. So Euro USD buys will be looking good. You know, like I said, same with pound USD as well. There probably will be some buys there to the upside, but nothing I'm going to get involved in. I'm just going to get ready to take these pairs further to the downside. I'm still overall bearish on them unless something happens to the DXY and we see DXY suddenly melt to the downside, maybe back beneath 94. Maybe that might consider changing my bias, but I don't think anything major is going to happen. I don't think anything major is going to happen. Might retrace a little bit and then probably continue after that. So yeah, still bullish on the DXY and bearish on the Euro USD and pound USD, but some nice temporary buys could be coming into it. Bitcoin's a bit weird because DXY is showing a lot of strength, but Bitcoin seems to still be respecting that support. I mean, overall Bitcoin is still putting in these lower highs in the market, so it's still overall bearish, potentially another lower high there. So it's still overall bearish, but I'm surprised it hasn't broken through this support yet of 41k. It might still go and break through it, we'll have to find out. But we are still putting those lower highs in, so maybe Bitcoin takes another dive again. I think if we do break through this 40k barrier of support, you might even come back down to test this area here, 30k. If not, and we hold on to that, because Bitcoin looks like it's got a mind of its own, if it does hold on to that, then we could be seeing another swing to the upside, maybe taking out this trend line there, and seeing another push back into 50k, maybe 60k as well. So upside could be looking good if we hold on to 40k, but we'll find out. So far it is holding on to it, showing some nice signs of price action on the 4H, but we've still got a long way to go before we find out if it holds or not. and as of yet, we still are putting in these lower highs. So really no incentive to buy Bitcoin yet, but it could be something to keep an eye on, because we are really failing to break through 41k, and maybe if you can put a higher high somewhere, come back in, could be some nice buys. But yeah, currently just looking at AUD that's currently my trade. We'll see what happens at that resistance. Looking at CAD JPY as well, Euro JPY as well for some sells. Again, I want to see some false breaks happen, some wicks, because I'm not really a fan of getting into trades when price is moving sideways like that. I like to get in when there's momentum with me already or coming into me. Not that I take breakouts, but I do like to take when I see nice reactions. And here the price is just moving sideways, so buyers and sellers kind of battling out there. I don't really want to join that battle. I want to see who's winning, and then I get into that battle there. Same with CAD JPY as well. Pound JPY, I need to see when that retracement's over. NZJPY need a bit more retracement, and AUDJPY I probably won't get in because I'm already in an AUD pair, but still looking good for sales though. So yeah, the main pairs I'm focusing on is Euro JPY, CAD JPY, Pound JPY as well, and then maybe a second trade in AUCHF, but we'll see how that pans out. And yeah, if any of you guys are looking at any pairs, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I'll take a look at it for you, see what's going on. Also leave the time frame as well, what time frame you're looking at. If you look at the higher time frames or the lower time frames, let me know. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, looking at ADCHF, see if it holds as resistance or not. If it does break through, I'll exit the trade, and hopefully the loss from price moving up now, it's kind of balanced out by the profit bagged at the first TP. If not, and it holds onto that area, then I might consider adding a second position on, and still look to move into these areas down here. So we'll see what happens with ADCHF, and see if we can get some other pairs going as well. But so far, just a little bit too choppy for me. So maybe some pairs could be looking good. Maybe New York session. Like I said, we do have some news at 1:30, I believe, for USD. Some jobless claim stuff. So watch out for that. That could affect some pairs out. Maybe could be forming some nice setups in a bit. But yeah, Euro JPY, CAD JPY. Looking to see if we've got anything there. And yeah, ADCHF, seeing if we can get a second entry or close the trade. We'll find out. Gold's looking, gold's still looking bearish. Because I've been looking for shorts for gold all week, but it just hasn't retraced to where I was looking for gold to get to. Again, had kind of like two opportunities. I was looking for gold to see if we can push back to kind of retest this resistance up here, kind of 1765 area, resistance there, dip below the support there a little bit, but I seen gold can come back and retest that, and I was looking to short gold from there. As you can see, just about missed that area, and then yesterday I was looking to short gold from this resistance here, and as you can see, kind of missed that area there as well. So gold's kind of been doing me dirty the past couple of days here, pretty much the whole week. Again, still expecting gold to roll over. I'm not too sure if I look to short it again. If I was, probably that resistance there, but I probably wouldn't short that, because again, we're coming up to that really strong support here on the 4H, which gave us this big move to the upside. So I don't think I would look to short into that. Probably wait for gold maybe to break some of these levels here to the upside, put in some higher lows, and then see if I can catch a nice sell off. We do have this kind of bigger overall trend there in the market, so maybe come back and retest that trend line and then sell off from there. That could be a nice opportunity. But yeah, not really interested in selling gold right now, just because of that support. And again, not too interested in buying gold as well, because just because it's at that support doesn't mean it can't break through it as well. So probably wait for either break or retest or hit the trend line. But yeah, not too keen on buying gold. Maybe if DXY starts to see a lot more weakness, then maybe I'll look to buy gold again, but not now. How often do I look at? Not much, to be fair. Normally just at the end of the day, when the daily candle closes at 10 p.m. here, GMT. I'm not too sure what that time is there over for you in Cambodia. Still remembered. But yeah, normally when the daily candle closes, because everything sets there, and then I can look at the daily time frame and then go into the 4H hourly and just go for the pairs that I've looked at during the day to see if they're looking interesting, and then by the end of the day I'll look at them again to see if there's any good trades potentially setting up for tomorrow London session. Sometimes, like I said to you guys, I do miss a few trades because they occur during Asian session and I'm asleep during that. So yeah, I just look at basically at the end of the day, I go for the pairs, see which pairs are looking good, which are not looking good essentially, and then yeah, basically I spend probably about an hour really max, maybe even less, maybe 45 minutes at the end of the day just looking at pairs for opportunities, because I don't like to, because I used to just look at the pairs whatever time I just look at them, and then I'll look at the pairs for 5-6 hours a day, and that just drives you mental, too much stress as well, because you kind of just, your emotions are going up and down as the pairs are going up and down. So yeah, I kind of just keep it to the end of the day now, just focus then, and then the plan is the next day just to execute if there's any trades to execute in. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it as less hours as possible on the charts, because when I'm away from the charts I'm a lot more happier, which is funny, because when in the charts you have to deal with your wins, you have to deal with your losses, and so much stress looking to get in positions and not. So when I'm away from charts, just stress free, live your life, everything's great. But here you're trying to make so many decisions, so yeah, I try to keep it as minimal as time as possible as I can on the charts. Okay, yeah, 4am, that's not ideal at all. So if I was you, maybe yeah, I would say probably just whenever you wake up, or yeah, I'll probably say whenever you wake up, because it's just really convenient for me that the daily candle closes pretty much when I'm going to bed, 10 p.m. I'll go to bed a little bit after that, but it's literally at night for me, so convenient. For you it's a little bit inconvenient as well, closing at 4 a.m. So yeah, I'll probably just say as soon as you get up, probably look through the charts there, seeing opportunities for the day, because all I essentially do is look for opportunities for the next day. So instead of doing that the night before, you can just do it in the morning. I recommend to do it after the daily candles close, so I probably wouldn't recommend to do it the night before, because the daily candles still can change quite a lot before that does close. So if I was you, I'd probably wait for the morning to look at pairs, because the daily candles close. It's probably already gone for I don't know what time you wake up. It's probably already gone for a few hours, so everything's set after that daily candle. So yeah, probably when you wake up, maybe like spend how much overtime you need to look at some pairs. And I'd probably say that's probably the best time to look for opportunities, and try and make sure you try and look for all your opportunities at once. Not like you look at a few pairs now, you wait a bit and look at some other pairs, because that's just dragging it out and stressful as well. So yeah, try and look at everything in that one period. I'd say the morning, and that would just set you up for the day, so you know exactly what pairs you want to trade, what pairs could be lining up, and then all you have to do for the rest of the day is just execute when you can on a trade. So yeah, it's just a bit inconvenient at 4 a.m, but also a little bit more convenient because you got some time for the daily the next day to kind of set a little bit, so all the spread can fix itself, and some candles can reset as well. So yeah, I'll probably say when you wake up, it could be a nice time. I mean, I'm just saying that if I was you, I don't know if you've already got a system that you do yourself that works already, but yeah, for me, I just check it at the end of the day when the daily candle closes, which is convenient, and then when I wake up, I know the pairs that I'm looking to trade. Sometimes during the day, because I do the live streams as well, sometimes I can get another recheck at some of the other pairs that are not on my watch list, because when I go to bed at the end of the day, I'll probably choose about 3 or 4 maybe pairs to trade for the next day. But when I do the stream, I look at all the pairs again. So sometimes looking at all the pairs again and you guys sharing your ideas, sometimes that kind of brings some setups to mind that I didn't really acknowledge last night. So sometimes I could add some pairs to my watch list from the stream as well. I try not to, but if there's a really good setup, then I probably would add it to my watch list. So yeah, I'll probably say just night before and kind of the stream as well, because I look at every pair on the stream and sometimes I miss stuff. So, and it's convenient as well because I'm not doing anything but just streaming right now, so I might as well look at all the pairs and see what's going on. But yeah, I just look at the end of the day and then just try and execute the next day. But I might change that. I might change it to morning, because I'm a lot more focused in the mornings at night. So I might find that I catch some setups that I didn't, because I'm looking at the night before and I'm a bit tired. So I might change it to the morning, but at this moment in time, it's convenient because the daily candle closes then. So I just analyse that and then go to bed. But yeah, gold's still looking bearish, and like I said, maybe a move up to there. Nice sells again. I know that'll probably be a big buy, so I'll probably look to get involved if that happens. But right now it's still bearish, and like I said as well, it might not do that move. It could easily still break through this support. So if that happens, the break and retest could be looking good, and price might start to really pick up momentum for gold back down to 1680. But we will see. AUD Chef just retested that resistance there again. Again, that candle still has a half an hour to go before it closes, so a lot can happen then. We could still go break through it, we could pull back all the way. We'll find out how it closes. AJPY is looking bearish. That is looking good there. If I wasn't an AUD Chef, I'll probably definitely be looking to take that trade. Again, I might still actually look to take it, but I could half my risk on it, just in case AUD sees some strength for somewhere. Because if I take this trade as well, there's probably a very high chance that AJPY will fail and AUD Chef will fail with it as well. It's either they both work or they both fail. Normally I've found that out the hard way. So no real point in me taking both, but that is a really good setup, and the risk to reward is looking good. I can see price eventually probably reaching that low here. It's a good 160 pips, maybe here about 100 pips. So there's a lot of pips to catch to the downside here for ADJPY, so I might put half the position on. I'll probably post it on the Telegram channel. So if you haven't checked out the Telegram, feel free to go check it out. The link to that is if you scroll to the top of the chat, or if you look at my description. Post some setups there, but ADJPY is looking good here. ADCHF hopefully will follow. It's starting to pull back. We'll see. We've sort of half an hour to go, which is a long time. AU still looking bearish. CAD-CHF pulling back. CAD-JPY starting to push on now, so that's looking good as well there. How's EUR-JPY looking? EUR-JPY looks like it might be breaking. Excuse me, my voice is going. EUR-JPY looks like it might be breaking through that support. Pound-JPY is starting to pull back. So yeah, it looks like the JPY strength is starting to come through. And like I said, guys, this JPY strength, if it does come through how expected to, it's going to come really thick and fast. Again, I don't know when, but it probably will do. You follow the USD. So yeah, JPY back down to 149 200. EUR-JPY 129 and probably 128. CAD-JPY, again, CAD-JPY is a bit funny because it's seen a lot of bullish because of its correlation with oil. So I probably wouldn't be too aggressive with this one, but I can still see a move back down to 87 with this one. CHF-JPY is really starting to push off a little bit, back down to this support, maybe 119, maybe even back down to 118 as well. I can really see these JPYs falling to the downside quite aggressively. So do watch out for that. If you can get into some shorts, great. The risk to wall looks good, so even if these trades fail, you're not risking too much, and if they work, you really can maximize your rewards, hitting 3, 4, 5 to 1 trades here. CAD-JPY is looking good there. ADCHF not too much, so it looks like CHF is a little bit stronger than JPY, and obviously that makes sense because CHF JPY is coming down. I mean, CHF is a little bit weaker than JPY. So yeah, I don't know, I'll probably, so I'm torn here, see if I add another position to ADCHF or I get into ADJPY. Probably might just keep it to ADCHF, don't overcomplicate things. If we do get a setup here though, I'll post it in the Telegram channel because it does look good, and if I hadn't gotten into this trade, I'll probably be waiting to get into this one. So yeah, they're looking good there. EUR-JPY starting to kick off. Euro-Pound still falling. NZJPY still heading down again. NZJPY is looking really good. Getting back down to these lows here, 76,500, 76 down there. Some really good sells. Looks like a really nice bear flag happening here, and continue to the downside. So they are looking good here. Just waiting for these candles to close, give some nice confirmations. ADCHF playing around a little bit, so it might be ADJPY stick a position on. Again, a little bit unlike me because normally I wouldn't even consider putting a position on, but the setup is really good. So I probably will anyway. So you're looking good on the 4H as well. Yeah, so that'll probably be first TP, second TP, third TP here. Again, I know a lot of people probably wouldn't trade all the way down to this area, but if you do, you know, 160 pips, if you can get, you know, 40 pip stop loss, you're looking at 1 to 4, even less, 20 pip stop loss, which is quite tight on an hourly time frame. But you know, you're looking at 1 to 8, so there's a lot of pips to catch here. Again, if you probably entered there on the hourly time frame, probably won't get 20 pips stop loss. That's probably like what, 30 maybe. Yeah, probably get about 30 pips, and all the way down to there, what? So 525, 5 to 1. Again, that probably will take maybe by next week, Thursday maybe. Unless we get momentum like this, then it could happen quickly, but it might take like a good week to happen. So yeah, that's a real swing trade there if that plays out. Again, you don't have to look to target all the way down there. You could look to target here, you could look to target there. You know, still 3 to 1 to that second TP. I'll probably see if I can push it back down to these lows here. You know, if I can catch more pips, might as well. I'd rather take less trades and capture more pips than take more trades and capture less pips per trade, because it means that I'm risking less of my capital. You know, if I'm taking less trades, same percentage risk, I'm obviously risking less of my capital, so I might as well try and push it on a little bit more. Obviously that gives room for price to reverse against me, but as long as I'm not losing money, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm still afloat and it doesn't really matter. So there's always another trade around the corner, so it doesn't really matter too much if price does retrace against me. I'll be banking profit along the way anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. And you know, like I said, as long as I'm not losing money, then we should be all right here. But yeah, I'll probably try and push it on into these lows. 79, nice psychological level. We'll see if we can get to that, but still gonna wait for that candle to close. Got about 24 minutes or so. You know, we could still pull back and close bullish back above that level, and if that happens, that's definitely invalid to take. So I would not be taking that. ADCHF still looking a little bit bullish as well. So that one's still, you know, not really showing any bearish momentum yet. CAD JPY still looking good, pulling back a little bit, but again, 24 minutes, a lot can happen in 24 minutes. Euro JPY really starting to push off now. That was looking nice and good. So yeah, 129 for Euro JPY is looking good. Eventually, I see Euro JPY back down here, 128. So that could be a really nice swing trade. You know, if you can get a nice break and retest off that, maybe stops above that high. You know, that's a 1 to 5 as well. Again, that's probably going to take about a week to play out. So again, it's not, that trade's not on for everyone. Not everyone can hold a trade for a week, or want to hold a trade for a week, to be honest. But like I said, all these Euro USD pairs. Oh, Euro USD tanking there. Did not see that. Euro must be really, really weak. Do we have some more news recently, or is price just deciding it wants to be really bearish? Yeah, no, we haven't had any news recently. It's just Euro still reacting off that bearish news from Germany. Yeah, and Spain a bit as well. So yeah, overall, still the bears are taking control of this. And like I said, that's why I wasn't keen on looking for buys for Euro USD, because all of this momentum here, you know, I definitely don't want to be trading against that. I want to be trading with that. Same for Pound USD as well. This one's looking slightly better than Euro USD, but even again, that could easily be another bear flag here, getting ready for another leg. So do watch out for that, guys, if you are taking those reversals. You know, they are good trades when they do work out, but it's definitely a riskier game there, taking part of those reversals, because you're trading against the momentum of the market, especially a reversal like this. You know, last year I was taking a lot of reversal trades, but I tried to not do it when I was against daily momentum, because here, you know, taking a reversal trade here, you're up against hourly, you're up against 4 hourly, you're up against daily, and you're up against a weekly as well. You know, momentum is clearly to the downside here in all the time frames. So taking a buy here, you're really going up against it. It could obviously still work, and it probably will eventually work, but you know, you're up against the momentum in so many time frames. Whereas if you took a sell after this, it's not so aggressive. Why? Because although yes, that's a lot of momentum, but you've got the bears with you coming down there, you got the bears on the daily, you got the bears on the weekly, so overall you still do have some of the higher time frame momentum helping you and pushing you in direction. Whereas now, you know, you're completely up against it in all time frames. So when you're trying to pick your reversals, try and pick a reversal that kind of lines up with a higher time frame, just because the probability of that reversal happening is a lot higher. Whereas this is kind of like a complete out and out reversal here. You got weekly, daily, 4 hour, hourly, all momentums to the downside. So taking a buy here, you know, you probably have 2 or 3 losing trades before it actually does work. So of course, me saying that now, it probably just will go and work, but you know, that's just from experience there, you know, stuff that I've learned. So a buy here, definitely more risky, but of course it probably will eventually work. Like I said, you know, it looks like a bit like a bear flag. It might push down one more time. Oh, I can't draw. Yeah, I can. Might push down one more time before it does go work, so that could happen, but just be careful and make sure you are, you know, protecting your capital. But yeah, still got about 20 minutes left, so we'll see what we can get. Some of these JPY pairs are pulling back. Pound still looking strong. Euro JPY is looking weak. Again, Euro really playing a factor. CHF JPY is looking weak. CAD's pulling back a little bit. Again, CAD's just been up and down, like I said. CAD's seen some strength because of oil. Oil prices going up. And as you can see, I'll just treat this as a range here. It's not the most obvious range, but I'm just going to keep that to a range. Can't wait until 1:30. Yeah, 1:30 the news will come out as well. Yeah, wow, I want to see what happens. Okay, if that news is bearish for USD, then that could drag pound USD up then. Yeah, so for all the things I've said there, that's all based on price action, but you know, news is news. If news is bearish, you know, pound USD will probably go up. So if we have a bearish, if the news is bearish for USD, then all these pairs will probably start taking a move to the upside. If it's bullish again, then we could see some real more momentum to the downside for all of these pairs. So yeah, I mean, I know all these moves are definitely causing a lot of FOMO to a lot of traders out there. So yeah, guys, I hope you're, you know, trying to, you know, control those emotions, especially when you trade a wide range of pairs like I do. I know a lot of you guys do as well. You know, you do get that feeling that you're missing out. I mean, my current position right now, ADCHF, you know, it's going up against me, and there's some other pairs that I could look to get in as well. There's actually a lot of pairs that I could look to get in, but it's important that I don't get that fear missing out in my head, and kind of stay focused as much as possible, because you know, it's very, very easy to take like 10 trades and then, you know, lose, you know, majority of them, and really see some, you know, some deep red into your account that you could have very, very easily avoided by simply just not taking all those 10 trades. So it's all about decisions at the end of the day, that really do cost you or pay you really in this game. It's all about decisions, not really how good you are as an analyzer or working out your bias or reading fundamentals. That's one part of it, but at the end of the day, if you've got poor decision making, it's really going to hinder you. So really try and focus on that decision making, and that will probably really help you. And again, decision making is also helped, helped. What's the opposite of helped? Unhelped. We'll just use that, unhelped. Decisions are also helped or unhelped by your emotions as well, because you can have a good decision, but then you could have a voice in your head, which is, you know, your fear of missing out or revenge or those type of bad emotions that can make you not choose that good decision and go for a bad one. And the same thing, if you got your emotions controlled, you have a clear head, you can choose that good decision for you. And a good decision doesn't always mean money into your account. A good decision means that you're taking a trade that follows your plan. Sometimes that trade will come losing. Sometimes you move your stop loss to break even and stops you out and then goes in direction. Sometimes those decisions, those good decisions, will lead to, quote unquote bad outcomes, but in the long run, they are good decisions and good outcomes. So it's all about the long game in this one. I'm waiting for that ADCHF to see if it can respect that area. Got about 15 minutes left. So far, still looking bullish. If it does close like that, I won't be touching the trade at all. AJY, how are you looking? Pulled back a little bit. If that does close like that, probably wouldn't enter. Probably would wait for another candle. But essentially, AJY is respecting this resistance, which is the key thing I'm looking for. So maybe if you come back in again, reject it again, then push through, that could be a nice entry as well. But yeah, I'll probably stick half a position on ADJPY and look for those sells. And again, the risk reward is looking really, really good here if it's all the way down to those lows. Again, like I said, you can target some of these other levels as well. So yeah, ADJPY is looking good, but pulling back a little bit. We'll see how these candles close in 15 minutes. EuroCHF still expecting a nice break to the downside. We'll see how that goes. Pound CHF seeing a bit of a move up. I think Euro Pound will probably be dumping to the downside now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Euro Pound's one of those funny pairs. It has a crazy move up, crazy move down. And just look at that price action. That price action is awful. I mean, it's not bad if you're a support and resistance trader, to be fair, because every time it comes back into support, you have a good chance of price bouncing. Maybe some few wicks could take you out, but overall, selling at resistance, would make you profitable throughout this period. But yeah, it's just the price action just very, very choppy there. And then here, God knows what it was doing there, and now had a massive move up, and now it's looking a little bit bearish. But like I said, it's probably coming back down to find a higher low somewhere, maybe test this resistance here, and then continue up. But that's just me trying to make sense of it, but it could easily come back down to here, knowing Euro Pound. So it's definitely not a pair that I've traded in a long time. I think that the last time I traded Euro Pound, where was I? I was here. I traded some of this move to the downside there, and we broke through this support on the retest, traded some of that move down. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've touched Euro Pound since then, which is March, so a few months now. FXCM. Is that it? FXCM. We can go check. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what I meant to do. FXCM. Pip calculator is what I use. I've used that for quite some time now. It's a good pip calculator. Yeah, FXCM broker. So if you just type pip calculator FXCM in Google, yeah, that's the pip calculator I use. It's really, really good. There's also one on is it my FX book? I'm not too sure, but yeah, I just used the one on FXCM. That was good enough. That's the one I use. CHF coming into that head and shoulder area. We'll see what happens now. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Do we see a dip or do we see a break? We'll find out. CAD, like I said, CAD's been affected with those oil prices going up. As oil goes up, CAD goes up. and CAD has been going up. So if we can see some rejection here, we could see some oil prices coming down, maybe CAD coming down again. Let's have a tough time. CAD JPY a little bit sideways still, pulling back quite a hefty amount there as well. Still 11 minutes left, we can still go fill that. ADJPY still showing some rejection. I probably wouldn't enter on that. Would need to see price come and show me some momentum again. So yeah, I would not enter on that candle. I'll probably wait for the next one. Or it means that price might actually go break through that resistance, which, like I said before, it would invalidate the trade. And yeah, ADCHF still testing that resistance and still hanging on to for dear life. We'll see what happens after that. Oh, gold's still looking bearish here. DXY still moving up. Well, maybe DXY might hit 95, you know. That'll be crazy. Wow, I did not see that. Well, I did see that, but it just looks a lot bullish now. Yeah, so DXY coming into that resistance there. I mean, there was signs that price might break through this high when price did make a higher low over here. There were signs, you know, price making a higher low like that, not coming back into these wicks, taking it out, was potentially a sign that price was going to take out this resistance, and it's doing that quite well right now. And yeah, it's moving into this high here, and I'll probably say if we break through this high, price is suddenly looking very, very bullish for USD, and it might be trying to head up to this area here, which is kind of like the inverse of Euro USD. Because they're going Euro USD, you know, this is the zone that I said price might come into, which is kind of like the flip of DXY. As you can see, similar price action there. Wicks here, collapses up, or collapses down. Euro USD, few wicks there, flies up. So yeah, this could be the area where Euro USD and DXY head to, if it can break through this resistance, of course. If it doesn't, it'll probably send price right back down again. Maybe a break of that trend line there could signify, what was I trying to say there? Could signify that, that's it. Yeah, could signify that. So yeah, DXY coming to a key area just below 95. We'll see what happens there. Again, this is the weekly time frame, so we need at least, you know, a weekly candle to see what price does. It's looking bullish now. But yeah, if we can hold that, more downside is looking good. If not, we're probably coming into here. And again, the significance of this, because I know you guys don't trade the weekly or the monthly time frame, but the significance of this means that you understand the direction of where price could be going for the next 2 or 3 weeks potentially. So on Euro USD, on Pound USD, as you've seen price move up, you know, you're just getting ready to sell it again and really take advantage of a really nice bearish trend. And a period like this where you do see nice breakouts, you know, on the lower time frames, like hourly, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, the pullback strategies, this is where they really come into play. When price is being a bit choppy, you know, like this period over here, pullback strategy doesn't really work out too well. But when it's trending like this, you know, that's where pullback strategies really do come into handy. And pullback strategies can be really, really simple. You know, just looking at moving average test, you know, a break and retest of a price structure low or structure high. You know, using fibs, waiting for price to get to that golden zone between 50 and 0.618 and taking sells there. So there's many different ways to trade pullbacks. Again, there's no perfect way, but definitely a pullback strategy in a trending market, which could be coming now for the next 2 or 3 weeks if we do see DXY go break through this 95 area. Is looking good. So, you know, a lot of trending markets is a good sign. It means, you know, easier market to analyze, easier setup to take, and just take advantage of that. So we'll see what happens at this level. Price is almost there now. Probably wait, a few days to see what happens there. We probably will get some type of reaction, but whether that reaction is price retracing or reversing, big difference. Retracing happens all the time. Go breaks it, reversing, we're coming all the way back down. So very critical level we're coming up to on the weekly. We'll we'll keep an eye on it, see how price reacts with that. Again, might need another week or two to see how it reacts, but if we do break out, that trend will be looking good for the next few weeks after that, probably throughout October, coming into November as well. So pullback strategies could be really looking good. Yeah, exactly, Buster Hoy. Big rockets. Which is really weird because I know everyone is bearish on dollar because of the fundamentals, what's going on in the US with inflation and everything. Dollar is definitely fundamentally weak, and it has been because it's taken a big dive from 102 all the way back down to 89,500. So it's been bearish. But people are still expecting it to be bearish, back down to the 88 level. It's kind of just about missed out on that. So all this dollar strength is it's probably explained somewhere fundamentally. I'm not too sure where. But yeah, if we do break through that, dollar's looking really strong suddenly. From here, we could collapse again. If I do get a fib on this level here, 50% of that is actually at that zone which I'm talking about. In fact, the kind of area which I just said price will probably come to is literally between the 0.618 and the 0.50, which is like that golden zone. So it kind of lines up, perfectly with that area. So if that breakout does happen, that's another confluence saying price will probably move there. So yeah, that's a good thing to take note of. Of course, we're not trading the weekly time frame, so it's not exactly going to look to buy that, but it does give us a good idea of where Euro USD, Pound USD, Aud USD want to go to. So yeah, like I said, you can look for those buys if you want to for Euro, but it's just looking way too bearish. There's no way I would get involved in that. Probably wait for price to retrace for me, and then I would get involved in some sells. Same with Pound USD as well, same with all USD pairs, and that means USD CAD could be looking good again. Exactly, is looking good right now. USD CAD is looking good for 1.28, and then USD CAD probably break through that, maybe move back into this high. Next stop 1.29 up there with this wick. So yeah, I think some buys are looking good, some really nice swings. So maybe if USD CAD can come back, confirm that as support there, move a double bottom. Like I said, 1.28 and a break of that, 1.29 up there. So that is looking good. USD CHF is probably, that's still flying to the upside. Again, targets for this one would have to be this resistance all the way up there. So again, another market that looks like it's going to be trending quite nicely. And again, another big sign that USD CHF was going to move to the upside was this higher low over here. Price dumped to the downside, higher high above this point, higher low, and now you do expect to see another higher high, especially with the dollar strength, and probably take out this area, probably push into 0.96 up there. So another market that could be trending to the upside for some time now as well. So again, bullish on dollar. The only way that would change if something happens fundamentally, news or NFP or something like that. But besides that, it looks like it's going to the moon. With those space rocket ships, they're going to the moon. But that's obviously if we break through 95, though. We need to break through 95, which is this weekly resistance. If it doesn't, then I'll probably change my bias on dollar to bearish again, and then expect another move back down to these lows. So very critical level. I'm bullish right now, but I wouldn't say I'm bullish overall yet. Me talking about these areas up here, that only will come into play if we can break through that resistance. If not, price is coming right back down to these lows. So I have to wait for that to happen. But yeah, we'll see what happens up with these pairs, because we're not trading on the weekly, we're trading on the hourly. So yeah, AJPY, got 2 minutes left to close. Again, not the most convincing handle. Maybe if that can push down a little bit more, that'll be looking good. but overall it is rejecting that, so I probably will look to enter that trade. AUD rejecting that resistance nicely, so that is looking good as well. Putting in those wicks, still can see some downside. EUR looking bearish. CAD JPY, that one's pulled up a lot. Again, that's because the CAD has just been so strong, so it's a bit of annoying, that pair. CAD CHF still looking a little bit bullish here. Pound JPY trying to break down. Euro looking bearish. USD CAD popping up. Gold coming down. Looks like gold might try and break through this support here actually. And like I said, gold back down to 1680 looks good as well. So yeah, some big setups could be coming in, but it is coming up to the end of the stream now. Yeah, I'll do USD JPY, sure thing, no problemo. Yeah, so USD JPY, crazy move to the upside recently, but it is coming up into this trend line here. So like I said, I'm pretty much bullish on USD, so I'm not really interested on selling this. But there probably would be some nice reaction at this area, simply because we've had such a big move to the upside, and price does need to retrace some of that just to form a healthy trend. Because if it doesn't, it's probably going to collapse quite rapidly. So it has to retrace eventually, and I'll probably see the best place to look for that retracement is when this trend line and price meet. We've had 1, 2, looking for that third reaction, so I'll probably be a little bit patient with this one, see if price can work its way to the upside a little bit more. Again, it's not too far off from where price is, and again, if I measure that, what's about 30, 40 pips, and actually 25 pips there. So we'll put about 20, 25 pips to the upside, see how price reacts with that trend line, and I would say some sells will be looking good. You can see price is really looking really bearish, bullish right now, sorry. So yeah, I would not be looking for sells there. So yeah, I'll probably say wait for price to get into this trend line, see how we react there, and if it's looking good, some sells back down again. And then yeah, I'll probably say for targets, these higher lows up here, first target there, second target there, probably would have pushed past that second target, to be honest. So yeah, probably wait for the test of that trend line, because we are looking very bullish, but we do need to retrace eventually for USD, so I'm aware of that. So that trend line could be a nice place, but personally not for me. It's just a lot. It's just too bullish for me to get in. So yeah, coming to the end of the live stream, guys. We'll see how that ADJY is closed. Okay, so ADJY did close okay. It's not the most convincing candle. Let me take a look at the 30 minute. 30 minute looks good actually, because it's closed with that momentum there, and a bit of a doji candle there. Looks like it's cleared that support. So yeah, I'll probably look to enter this one, probably reduce risk as well, just because I'm looking for that ADCHF sell-off as well. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick rundown of some of the pairs that we looked at, and then look to end the stream there for the week, guys. But yeah, ADJY will probably be posting this in the Telegram, so if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. It's in the chat if you scroll to the top, or in my description. But looking for sells there for ADJY, ADCHF expecting a sell-off as well, back down into these lows here. If we're going to go in the 4H, you can see we still do have this bearish trend in place here. So overall, we're still looking for price to take another dump to the downside, back down into those lows. So ADCHF is still looking good. We got in an ADJY, nice. I'll probably be joining you on that one, so we'll both be taking a loss or a win together, so we'll see what happens there. Aud Usd still looking good, selling off again. Like I said, I wanted to see price come back and retest this area first before I do sell it, so I'll probably hold off AU for now, but it's still looking good for sales. CAD JPY is at a really nice area of resistance. If I go on the daily time frame, you can see here really nice resistance here. We had a bit of a false break there, price came back down, and now we're retesting that again. So I am expecting to see a reaction at least back into this support, because this is where we came to when we were respecting it, 87 area, but the price action is not looking that great right now. So CAD JPY, maybe a few more candles could be looking a lot better, but we will see. We ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life. Or should I say Forex traders for life. Euro USD, wow, that's closed very bearishly. So Hopefully get some retracement on that one and then sell off again. But yeah, it's just looking bearish. Pound USD as well. Need some retracement for that one. Still bearish for that one. USD CAD back up to 1.28. Nice close there. So that could be a nice long there for a decent stop loss. Back to 1.28 and 1.29 potentially as well. And finally, USD like I just said earlier, probably wait for a test of that trend line. Then we could look to sell that back down again. But yeah, guys, that is the streams done for the week. I'm looking at getting into ADJPY for themselves. Again, currently ADCHF still respecting that resistance quite nicely, so it's still expecting a sell-off there. So maybe if you're looking at ADCHF, probably wait for a strong bearish candle. Look to get momentum back with the bears again, something like we saw here, something like we saw there. But yeah, I'm expecting some downside there. Again, ADJPY, I'll probably be posting that on the Telegram now, so go check that out if you want to. But yeah, it's the end of the stream, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Found some bits of it useful. If you did, leave a like on the stream. That really does help the channel out, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Hit the bell so you don't miss out any uploads or any streams as well. But yeah, guys, I hope you have. I hope you all have a great day, great week, great month, great life. Thank you. I look forward to you. Look forward to my videos. So that's beautiful. That's great. Yeah, I do have a video that I post on the weekend, Saturday, which I recap the week and also forecast the next one. So feel free to go check that out as well. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Really does mean a lot, and I hope I see you guys again next week and also on Saturday as well. So take care, guys.